Welcome to the Orb Show. Orb. Alright. I don't know. We're going to have to make a song for the Orb Show. I think it's like, Orb Show. You know, like, I don't know if you're old enough to remember Amanda Bynes' show. She was a very talented young girl. Maybe like 14 or something. She was doing this show. She was like really young for Nickelodeon. All that and stuff like that. The Amanda Bynes show. She always had lobsters show up. It was like the show song went like Amanda show. This would be like orb show. I think it'd be pretty cool. Anyway, we have a sponsor today. Fuck that shit. I'm not sponsoring Goodwill. Goodwill's a fucking like scam of sorts. I figured it out. It's not quite a scam, but it's certainly like a deception. They do this whole thing where they act like they're for one, no matter how much you donate, there's like a cap of like $600 that you can like write off in your taxes. But two, it's like they make money. It's a for-profit company. It's not a not-for-profit. So like, you almost give stuff to the Goodwill and you hope like, okay, maybe they'll give it back to the community. Not really. They're taking all your shit and they're selling it at like whatever fucking price they want. And other people are just kind of getting like free, you know, they're just kind of like getting your shit. It's just like a step above throwing things away. But like, I don't know, like for how little they pay their staff, for how like easy that fucking whole process is of just taking something in, cleaning a pair of clothes once or something, and they don't really even do that, I don't think. You know, because I've seen clothes at Goodwill that have like fucking snot on them or something. Like, it's gross. Yeah, for all that, like, they're definitely making massive amounts of money, and then like, but they're still pretending like, oh, it's for a good cause. Like, yeah, bullshit, dude. I was about to pick up a jacket at Goodwill actually recently, but it had like this brand of clothes. It's like K. Kushner. And like, I don't know if like it was related to Jared Kushner, but like I looked it up online. I didn't see like that there's a brand really. The K was like, the first K was part of like a I don't know, it was like a factory or like a building or something. It was like, I don't know. It was like a weird design, logo. But I was like, yeah, I couldn't buy that. Even though the jacket looked like pretty okay on me, I'm not gonna buy that fucking shit. Like, what if someone thinks I'm supporting Jared Kushner? Not that I care too much about what people think, but like, you know, I also just don't want to like have the Kushner name on me. It's really annoying, all these creeps that are rich wildly because politics and corruption, and how there's like always someone who's just willing to be like, that makes them smart. Like, no, it makes you an idiot. You're arguing against your own interest here. You're not them. You're not that class of human being. And that class means like billionaires, millionaires, thieves. Really, most billionaires are thieves, if not all. So it's crazy that anyone ever looked up to them. The Orb, I accidentally threw it on a grocery bag that had, I guess, spilled soy sauce on it. So, and strawberries that were, I guess, I left them in there too long. So they became like strawberry sauce. So it smells like strawberries and soy sauce. Delicious, I guess. Today's show, I filmed the last Orb show like, I don't know, like 3 days ago or something. So I don't really have too much to talk in regards to news or whatever. But I will talk about masculinity, because that kind of interests me. That there are still people who are getting like lonely and all worked up in their feelings and stuff like that over masculinity. And masculinity isn't really something to give a fuck about, frankly. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of our dads and stuff, they grew up on like Dirty Harry shit. Actually, no. Well, maybe, sort of. And that shit's always been so fucking stupid. Not just because of the logic of it, but because also it's like, Dirty Harry's a fucking asshole. You see people in the comments. This is why, I don't know, people really don't have a lot of media literacy. Especially on YouTube comments. You go to any YouTube comment of like any fucking like horrible thing, there's always like a guy like, yeah, well, they deserved it. Like this Renee Good lady. There's like so many people who are like, now I see she deserved to get shot. This is what the media won't tell you. And it's like, you're on a post by NBC. What do you mean what the media won't tell you? Because I found like the body cam footage of the guy, and it doesn't make it any better or anything that he shot her. But what's interesting is you have things like Dirty Harry, or you have things like even Mad Men, where like the men are clearly fuck ups. Like they're clearly failures, like personally, spiritually, interpersonally. But you know, there's always someone who's like that's a cool dude. Like that's what I want to be. These like kind of like fractured perspectives. Read a Sopranos videos sometimes. This guy like or like Goodfellas videos. There are people who like start to like love the mafia. Even Scorsese is like, used to be a time that the mafia was good for the community. He doesn't talk like that, but I'm gonna fucking do it. You know, it's good for the community. They used to look out for people. Like these people who like took advantage, did like racketeering on all these fucking like local businesses, made them pay them like a percentage just so they could like protect them from who? From them? It's so fucking horrible that like, I don't know. There are so many people who just like they fall into power when they could just like fight for truth and you know, a sense of justice. Well, not even justice, just, you know, that freedom of spirit that's inherent in all of us and part of all of us that gets like sometimes like stepped on by bullies or the arrogant and proud power systems. There's always someone who's like, that's the way to go. You gotta be like them, or like, oh, they were looking out for me. Like they're like abused spouses, or like, you know, like children were beat by their fathers, and then like, you know, they dislike them, but when they grew up, they're like, my father's the best man ever. Out of respect for my father. That's Sopranos. Yeah, it's like it's really sickening to watch. It's like a mongrel dog, just like humping the leg of like somebody. It's just like it's like so pathetic. And that's not even to be judgmental and cruel about it. It's just that's just how I feel. It just feels like really gross to see people like lionize horrible people in power. Like people who lionize Trump. It's like, my God, how? Even with the Epstein stuff and everything, there's like still people like Donald Trump derangement or Trump derangement syndrome. They don't like him just because they're deranged. Like, how could you even come to that conclusion? Everything is so much more expensive, you know? It's crazy. We have fucking Gestapo, ICE in Minneapolis, Minnesota and stuff just attacking them. Like, is it just primarily happening in Minnesota to be mean to Ken Walls? Or what? I don't get it. Like, why would there be so many immigrants in Minnesota or Minneapolis, right? Like, oh yeah, they're all going up there. Sure. Kind of glad I'm in Florida, which is like a swing state, so I guess they just want to piss them off too much. But even then, there's like people who just fucking get disappeared out here. Because it's just not as proactive. Excuse me. When I was growing up, there was like Proactive and Neutrogena and stuff. And you got zits. You had to like You had to like fucking carpet bomb your fucking face. It's like Sherman's March to the fucking sea. You're just burning the whole fucking upper layer of your skin. And you go to fucking school like fucking Hellraiser or something. You just fucking flayed face or whatever. um, and you know, like totally dried out, flaky skin. And that was like the option. That was the thing. We all paid for it. Like they probably made millions off of that. But nowadays, I guess kids have better options. I don't know why I mentioned this. I guess because it's not really a thing anymore. Another thing we used to have also was Altoids that were they came in a tin, and they were fruit flavored. And when you put them in the mouth, they fucking burned holes through your fucking like your inner gums. It would always burn, but they tasted so good. They were so delicious. You gotta try dry candies or dry fruit flavored candy. It's really good. I'm sure they still exist in some form or another like that. Yeah, so I'm trying to think of what else I was gonna talk about. Yeah, masculinity. So, I was like, Dirty Harry always pissed me off because it makes the argument that it's okay to torture people in custody because he's such a scumbag. You know, they like, you know, it's because you wrote the story like that. It's because you wrote the story so that, you know, he could only get the information, or he could only get past, you know, this problem by torturing, or something like that. That happened. Like, you know, people like need to remember these are like fictions, you know, and oftentimes there's a subtext to the fiction. Dirty Harry, no, the subtext is pretty much fascism. But in like, you know, The Sopranos and stuff like that, it's like, yeah, you're supposed to think Tony's kind of pathetic and kind of a fuck up. Even in like Goodfellas and stuff, there's that too. Even if Scorsese sort of, I don't know, loses the plot somehow. I was thinking that particularly in regards to Wolf of Wall Street, which is like the depiction of like the worst fucking guy. Like fucking, I mean, I don't want to be judgmental. I guess it's not the way to talk about it, but just a very obnoxious, and cruel person who takes advantage of and hurts a lot of people. But still, you know, because it's like fun, you know, people are like able to forgive it. And I think that's something like screenwriters in particular need to pay attention to. I think about this a lot in regards to like Breaking Bad, which is, it's not even about like lionizing masculinity or anything, so much as it is just having fun. You know, like Scarface, people like Scarface not because of, you know, he's a cool guy. I mean, Scarface wants to fuck his sister. He's got all these fucking weird things going on. But it's like, he's fun. He's the point of view character. You relate to him, and you relate to the fun that it is to watch his performance, Al Pacino's, and see what he does. So, you know, it's a character that you don't want to see end. It's a character you like because he's fun. He's the roller coaster that you're riding on. With Breaking Bad, a lot of people like Walter White, even though he's obviously awful, because he's fun. And then the problem is you get Skyler and you know, Ted and all these other guys coming in to like, you know, like muck up the plot and make it boring and slow, and like some other shit, and it's just not as fun. So a lot of times, like, it's sort of like going from like, I don't even think it's like, I think like fans are kind of like maligned as misogynistic in this case, for not liking Skylar, and that could be the case, you know, whatever. But I think mostly it's just that she's not fun. Her character wasn't that interesting and she wasn't fun. They try to, in the end, kind of like pull it back and like make her like kind of like Lady Macbethish, but they don't really like go all the way with it. So it's a little bit of a half effort, a little bit half-assed. But at the end of the day, she just wasn't fun. You know, Walt was fun. Watching Walt, like, you know, like connive around situations and like strategize or come up with like interesting ideas, that was fun. You know, all the drug guys and like the threats and all that, that's fun. But like Skylar's like paying Ted's taxes? What the fuck? That's not fun. It slows things down. It's fucking boring, you know? Who's the other lady? The purple lady? Skylar's sister. She's also not fun. Kind of just like neurotic, and it's just sort of like, oh, why am I watching this? And I think it kind of bothers me that the writers like come out and they like call it, or like the actors call it and like call it like, well, I wouldn't blame the actors, but they imply that it's misogyny, when like I feel like it really isn't fair to say that. When you kind of wrote something that the audience doesn't respond to, you kind of have some responsibility there that you're kind of running away from to fully just blame the audience with. Which is why I'm very glad that the Orb Show has had a perfect reception. No dislikes. Everyone loves the Orb Show, apparently. So, all I can say is, like, you must love me, and you must love the Orb. But which of us do you love more? Which of us do you love more? Yeah. I'm, not sure what else I was talking about. Masculinity. Yeah, I guess a lot of my personality is, to some extent, a rejection of things. I don't know about a rejection so much as it is like carving out external pressures to like conform to certain things or to be certain things. Like I find it so fucking boring to be another person or to like pretend to be another person, to fake. It's so freeing and it's so beautiful to just be me. Just to like have fun as you are. There's so many people who just like live like fucking stolid lives and they have no sense of humor and there's no uplift in their day because they think that uplifts them is like, you know, just like my one coffee or like the one moment I'm away from these fucking people. It's just like, damn, dude, that's no way to live, you know? At the end of the day, more so than any video game or movie or music or whatever, you should be like really fucking stoked just to be in your own fucking head. If you're not, then, you know, obviously you have stuff to work on and you probably are working on it, but you don't work on it by diving into those other things. I used to be huge into just like watching movies all the fucking time. Partly because I was like so fucking bored, but partly because of like the times that I was in, I did not want to fucking experience. I was not happy. But I could have actually, you know, I could have like really healed and like resolved some things just by, you know, sitting around and meditating or something for a while. Meditation is pretty crazy. If you do it for a long time, you like really get like weird subtle differences in yourself. A lot more calm. Calming your nervous system is important. You know, I think I mentioned like box breathing in an earlier video. But yeah, it's really important to like actually take care of yourself and your body as if your emotions as if it's like your body. Not to just let things stand, not to just let there be like stale air of ideas, or to like keep this kind of like unhygienic mindset of the past, or like you know, horrible thoughts or whatever. And you don't really fix these thoughts by like being like, yeah, I should have said this or I should have done that. Really, just like forget any resentment and just you know, just relax. Things aren't so serious, you know. Whatever. I also kind of wrote about this in the Weekly Orb, which I've been writing, and you know, I can put them on Patreon. They're pretty funny, I think, pretty fun at least. Pretty good reads. I just don't know exactly what, you know, I don't know if I should be like advertising this or what. I was thinking about maybe putting it on Instagram, but they just had this huge data leak, so I think I was right in being weirded out by Instagram. I think it's interesting how there's guys like Zuckerberg who can, even with all the money in the world, still not afford the peace of mind to be themselves. Still a big fake. See Bezos walking around sometimes. Bezos is such a goofball. He's such a like dork, you know. And he'd be so much more fun if he was just like a Bill Nye type of guy. Or, you know, well, even Bill Nye is weird too. But if he was just like a goofball and he just went around, he's like, eh. But like, you know, he also has this thing where like he's got like this evil ego. He's got to be like a billionaire. He's like, see him in photos sometimes, like walking around, and it's like it just shows in his taste. He lost his wife for like her best friend or something he slept with. And this lady's got like, you know, a face that's never been born to man. It's like he's Pygmalion. He fucking, like, her face is like so plastic surgeryed out. It's sad. You know, like, it's like a man who can't love himself and a woman who can't love himself just together. Keeping up like this lie. And it's so sad. His wife seems like, you know, she seemed like she might be a lovely person. She looks better than the new lady. So it's like, why are you trading down? You know, for like a lady who doesn't actually care about things clearly and doesn't really seem to like herself. I don't know. I don't think many problems are solved by technology or surgery as much as people would like to think. AI in particular is fucking stupid. My mom asks AI like everything, and then she'll like send me texts acting like something was her opinion. It's like, no, I can tell this was AI. You don't know the first thing about trauma responses. Don't pretend like that's relevant. Oh, man. And to think Sam Altman probably has all this fucking family dirt. Sam Altman can fucking blackmail all of us. So anyway, on masculinity, yeah, just don't use like a social value to fucking run over your own fucking face. Don't be like I was as a kid. Don't fucking Neutrogena your whole fucking personality. You know? Don't be proactive. Be I don't know. Reactive. You know, but react in good ways. React in ways where things bounce off you. I think that Gen Z and Gen Alpha are really going to need to learn how to be people again because of all these algorithms, all these things are telling them like their anxieties and their feelings are because of masculinity issues or like issues with women or whatever, to sell them stuff. But like, yeah, they just need to remember that like it's really as simple as just like, okay, take a deep breath, you know, relax. Believe in yourself. Remember, your self-concept is something that you decide, not other people. Work on it. Try to be happy. Try to be satisfied with some form of goal or principle or something that you believe in. And, yeah, it's pretty simple. You know, it's not always going to be easy, but you just keep going. I was thinking earlier about, not to like mention names and judge people or anything, but like meeting people who are nice in a way, but like kind of not, you know, like those manipulative nice people. How gross that feels. So my point is, I guess in lieu of what I was saying earlier, or to follow up on what I was saying earlier, make sure that when you are doing something, when you are doing some type of principled position or trying to like be a certain attitude, represent something in the world, that you do it from a perspective that's true to you and comes from a pure-hearted place. And if you're not sure what's pure-hearted, then just like hope that, you know, any part of you that's ego or fake or whatever can be shorn away. Just continue anyway, because the difference between trying and not having it exactly from a great place versus trying and being fake is caring about something additional on top of the actual thing. If you're just going straight for the principle, then yeah, there you go, you're good. You know, whatever. I don't know if that's communicated clearly, but basically, in regards to like being kind, you can be kind in a way that's like customer servicey and fake, or you can be kind in a way that's like authentic and genuine. You know, and I think it really just comes down to whether you're putting any extra weight on it. Doesn't have to be anything important. Doesn't have to be anything with expectations. If it's the principle, you're doing it because you're doing it. You're just breathing it out into the air. Let me see. Masculinity. Yeah, Dirty Harry pisses me off. I mean, I loved Arnold Schwarzenegger as a kid. I thought his movies were so fun because he starred in actually good movies. But like, I never really took him seriously as like a man or whatever. You know, it was always for me like a little bit fun and camp. You know, so it's crazy to think that people were like actually like, wow, like I gotta be ripped like that. Like, I kind of feel bad sometimes for men because we're not. A lot of guys, they really take shit seriously. Like I was saying with the Goodfellas or Sopranos, people were like, yeah, they should have diced her up for that. You know, there are people like, hey, like actually like acting like it's like funny, or like they're like mafia guys too in the comments. Like, really, dude? What the fuck? How did you not realize that this guy was a bad guy? Adriana didn't deserve to be killed. To uphold the fucking crumbling mafia empire anyway. I mean, who gives a fuck? But, you know, like I said earlier, people just have so much fun with Tony. They just have so much fun with Henry Hill. They have so much fun with all these different movies and characters that they're just going to go along with it because it's fun. And I wonder sometimes if that's the deal with Trump, too. That they're, like, attracted to the kind of, like, chaos or the mess of it all. Even if it's, like, fucking up so many people's lives. Really, there's so much cruelty in this administration that you start to think, like, this is performance. You know, this isn't... It's performance or it's rank idiocy. You know, it's people who, like, actually think that this makes sense. Like, I think Kristi Noem probably kind of thinks... I think she's, like, a really, really useful idiot. For Halloween, I'm going to put a star on the orb, and it's going to be a Dragon Ball. I used to watch Dragon Ball as a kid with my brother, and we would beat each other up afterwards. We'd be like, I'm Goku. No, I'm Goku. Or whatever. It used to be really fun watching Toonami and stuff. Oh shit, there's a stray cat. I keep food in my car to feed stray cats. So cute. Maybe this one will be 30 minutes, I don't know. But there's got to be something else I got to say. ORB SHOW. I have to tell you, I'm just so in love with living. I'm so in love with people and life and this planet we live on is so beautiful. It's so gorgeous. I don't think you should ever take advice from someone who doesn't believe the planet's beautiful. I don't think you should ever listen to any single person who doesn't actually have love for humanity. Or, I mean, I understand disappointment. I understand having disappointment in humanity. Or reticence to be around them or whatever. That's pretty much, that can be like me. I don't like when people like park next to me even. Like, happens sometimes. I like fell asleep in my car for like 2 hours or something, took a nap, and I woke up and this guy in the whole parking lot parked right next to me. It happened multiple times. I was trying to do like make music earlier, and this guy just parked like in this exact spot actually. He parked like right next to me. Like 2 doors down, he gets out and he's like talking to this lady the entire time. And for me, I like to like make things in like hermit mode. I like to do it in like seclusion. Because I don't like people over my shoulder. I don't like works of progress being exposed to others. Not out of embarrassment or anything, more just like it's an agitation. It's agitating to have someone like someone's eyes on something that's not complete. Or to be like have an awareness of anything other than the process when you're in the process of something. I guess I'm not particularly good at multitasking sometimes, but I don't know. I'll get better at it, I think. They say that women are better at multitasking than men. They say that there's like this book. I think I read like the first chapter or something. I don't remember. But basically, it like made the argument that like women have like either because they were gatherers or something, they had to look out for predators or something. So you learn to like multitask, maybe as well as like rearing children or something. I don't know. I don't get the theory. Anytime someone theorizes on shit like ancient people, I always think like, so you say, but like how the fuck are we going to prove that? I think actually they did look at the brain and brain imaging and all that. But yeah, there's this kind of interesting story about this, the idea of intuition. And I kind of think intuition is a little bit of a form of, I don't know, like the subconscious. It's like something beyond us. Because I think about this like one climber who he was traveling in the snow and he was like near death. Like he descended this mountain alone after like falling and being really injured and like separated from the rest of his camp, the other hikers, literally climbing a mountain. And when he was descending the mountain and going to his friend, he kept hearing this song that he hated, but he kept hearing it. And the song was like something like, like staying alive, or keep walking, something like that. Some song that I've never heard of either. It's like some 70s song. And it's not staying alive. It's not that one. That's just an example I used. But yeah, he kept hearing that. He's like falling asleep in the snow. And then he was like trying to get up and like walk over again, but he kept falling asleep. And throughout this process, he, I guess he like kind of felt like there was another presence with him, like the presence of the mountain or something. I don't know. I can't remember what he said in the documentary. But I don't know. It was interesting to me because I also think about that, and I think about the story from the book about women and their intuition, where the lady, this lady was going up to her her apartment, and this guy like was following her up, and she had groceries in her hand. She dropped something, and he like offered to hand it. He like picked it up and gave it to her. He's like, "Oh, I'll walk you to your apartment or whatever." She like knew that was fucking sketchy or whatever, but like anyway, somehow the guy gets the better of her and gets into her apartment, and he fucking scares her. She's like ends up in her bedroom or something. He turns on a radio, goes into the kitchen, and then she just like, as soon as the radio turns on, she's just like, oh, she like gets up, She walks out. The front door of the apartment was still open. And she sees, as she's walking by the kitchen, the guy going through her knife drawer. I guess intuitively understanding, without even thinking about it, that this guy was going to kill her. Because when he turned on the radio, that indicated that he was going to, like, drown out any noise. So somehow she just understood that. And a lot of times, I think, especially in regards to people, you need to trust your sense of them. Sometimes people can be paranoid and over the top or whatever. But, like, you need to trust your first sense. If you don't trust someone and someone's like, oh, no, but he's nice. Listen to your fucking self. You fucking know. Don't give up yourself and your own safety, your own understanding for somebody else. This is really critical. Don't do that. Your intuition is smarter than you. So listen to it. If a job doesn't feel right, don't fucking take it. Take the job that feels right. Take what feels right. To some extent, you have to be more of a feeler than a whatever. Like I was saying, take care of your emotional body, so to speak, and it's taking care of you too. We're not just, practical-minded, logical beasts. We have other things going on apparently that we don't understand. I'm not even talking spirituality. I could be, but I think whether it's emotion or spirituality or brain or whatever, there's clearly some extra subconscious element or something that we don't fully understand. I've been looking into NDEs too at times, which are pretty interesting. Thinking about my posture here and how I'm basically forced into frame of what's it called? Fetal position. Disempowering that is. If you ever take psychedelics, one of the things they tell you for advice is to imagine yourself as very powerful and to go ahead and what is the word? Imagine yourself as very powerful. What's the other fucking word? Oh, yeah. Say, I am immortal. So you say you're immortal. And you can do power poses, too. These are poses that are supposed to make you feel powerful. You go, I am immortal. A primal state inside you. It does something, apparently. That's also something to pay attention to, how physical actions influence our actual selves. Acting confident can actually make you confident. Forcing a smile can actually make you smile and laugh or whatever. Don't try to resolve everything with just intellect. That's it's not using all the tools at your disposal. And that's the problem, especially with masculinity and all that. It's you're setting up little bear traps in your own mind that constantly get fucking triggered. All your wife has to do is I don't know, say you premature ejaculated or something. You're like, oh no, I'm the fucking coolest man ever. I'm an alpha male. I'm Don Draper. Whatever. Let me think. Oh yeah, mentioning primal is funny because I was thinking about the indie with what's his name? Young, where he died, I guess, in a surgery or something. And then when he was doing his ND, he's said he saw his doctor in his primal form, and this is so cute. Young's in the hospital at his bed recovering, and he's mad at his doctor. He refuses to talk to him. He's so fucking pissed off. He's like, doesn't he understand? He was in his primal form. He's gonna die soon. He's indignant at the supposed I don't know, carelessness of the doctor. He's you're gonna die soon. What do you mean? you're in your primal form. You can't be here. Like refusing to talk to his doctor. His doctor's like, I don't know what the fuck's wrong with Young. But his doctor did die soon, so I guess Young had a point. But also, it's like so funny, so cute to get mad at him. Just imagining like old man Young, like, you're the archetype of the fool. Yeah, I don't know. People are really cute. They're really adorable if you think about it. Going around with these little tasks and duties. Always overcomplicating things. I know I sure overcomplicate things. So it's just another thing that makes me super cute. Me and the orb. Once again, vote in the comments. Who's cuter, me or the orb? I won't be offended. I will just burn down your house if you say the orb. Oh man. Yeah, maybe I'll go to 45 here. The Orb Show. The Orb Show. The Orb Show will be good. I swear, I'm going to put more effort into like what I say here instead of just winging it as much. But I think winging it has its own charm. It's supposed to be like a broadcast, Except I'm not taking any callers or, providing much content beyond me and the orb. Thankfully censoring my nut sack. Fuck. Actually, it didn't really hurt, but it didn't feel comfortable. Yeah, kind of sounds like the Star Trek theme. I think Star Trek's very funny because, well, for me, it's just only appealing because of how dated it is, those, like, 70s sort of concepts, like the women in the cold spacecraft wearing, like, mini skirts, while the men are all, like, actually dressed out. Even in, like, The Next Generation, I haven't watched much Star Trek, but even in The Next Generation, you have, like, the one lady who's the empath, who just has, like, the boob fucking cleavage outfit. Everyone else has got normal outfits. She's got the boob cleavage one. It's very funny. I imagine if humanity ever went to space, though, we wouldn't be like, okay, great. I feel like we'd probably be pretty horny. I feel like there'd be a lot of fucking, to be honest. I feel like the loneliness of space, the distance from, the warmth of our planet and societies, we would be fucking up there. It'd be like an old folks' home or like a military base or something. I'm sure they fuck. I'm sure they like fucked like the feistiest recruits, Could you imagine? I mean, the Spartans were fucking each other. The fucking, were the people that took out the Spartans? They were like paired lovers too. It's kind of hot to think about the idea of people just being like just fucking like in a military situation, just fucking loving each other. Just the love that comes from it. One of my favorite movies is Go Hato, Taboo in Japanese, I guess. It's about this young, beautiful man who gets recruited into, I think it's like the Shinsengun or something, I don't know, like something like dojo or whatever. And it's sort of about how these men cloistered away kind of just become gay for each other. so like, yeah, he excites all this temptation and turmoil, and it's a really beautiful movie. It's really quite good. Hell, even Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence is another fucking gay war POW type thing. It's different with the POW angle, but another thing where it's like, it's also funny because like the main guy, the director, the main actor, I think he's the director, but he's the main actor and the guy who does the soundtrack. He's also like a rock star. Cast David Bowie in it as the love interest guy. He's like the one guy who like stands up against them. So you have three guys, or see, so the one Japanese guy clearly like likes David Bowie as like an artist. Then it's like, you know, they're also like, he's also like playing a guy who's like gay for David Bowie. So like David Bowie keeps stepping out of line as a POW, and he's like, oh, I want to punish you. Well, then like he's like, oh, but I love you. And then finally, you know, David Bowie, I guess, I haven't seen the movie, but I know what happens. You can watch it. I won't spoil it. But yeah, no, it's funny how like there's like that subtext that like, you know, he fucking looks up to David Bowie and he wants to kiss him, and he does in the movie. You know, these POWs, the love that blossoms from impossible kind of harsh situations. I find that so gorgeous. You know, whether it's, you know, gay, lesbian, whatever, it's so beautiful to see love blossom in impossible situations. Pyramus and Thisbe, Romeo and Juliet. Well, Pygmalion and his pig. Yeah, I don't know. Me and the orb. Yeah, so it's very fun. Just thinking about these things, but that's kind of what's nice about like gay romance stuff, is like there's an element of resistance, which is like conservatism, and it just adds this like easy kind of tension that like kind of tempers and heightens the love. Like Titanic, it was class boundaries between the girl and the guy, and her having a fiance and all that, her family and all that. But in these movies, it's like it's just like fucking easy. You just get like two gay guys, you put them in a situation. It's like they had an impossible love, you know. You do like two gay scuba divers in the 1920s. There you go. You got it. The impossible love. I think there was a Paul Mescal movie where it's just like, oh, they're like two musicians or like music graduates just traveling the country and they've an impossible love. But one of the funny things is I think I saw like a picture of it or something, and it drives me nuts with Paul Mescal. I don't know if I talked about this, but every one of his movies, he's doing nose kissing, and it drives me nuts. Like, he'll like have somebody else's face, because this is a face. Be like, he's like nose kissing. He's like really fucking like driving his fucking nose into them. And it's like supposed to be passionate or something, but it fucking pisses me off. It's like, why are you fucking doing this shit, dude? Stop fucking digging your nose into these people's faces. It doesn't look hot. It looks weird. And I'm tired of seeing you like close your eyes and do it. And like all your movies. Fucking Gladiator and everything. Anyway, I have about a minute more here, so I guess I'm going to close it out. I had more that I was probably going to say. I'm going to talk about Denzel and Gladiator 2. Oh, I think Denzel's kind of overrated. Sorry. I think he's an unk. He's past unk, actually. He's like a grand unk. Every one of his movies nowadays, he's like sunning young dudes. Like, listen here, you need to pull up a chair and listen to the OG. It's like, come on, dude. You're like so cheesy. You're the OGs. That's what happens. You leave an OG too long in the sun, it becomes no cheese. Curdles. Anyway, I got like 10 seconds here. So, thanks for watching. And, you know, ORB later.